You know what they do there, Rich? They do a breakfast bap at that stall. It's about 9 inches high. You start eating it at 7 o'clock in the morning. It lasts you till lunchtime.
That's right, yeah.
Enzo there talking, he's a different man suddenly. He's relaxed, he's talking sensibly.
Yeah, like any good champion, split personality. Enzo Maccarinelli, lovely fella out the ring, he really is. You wouldn't even think he was a boxer. When he gets in the ring, very, very ruthless, and we watched him train. And he really respects David Haye, though.
Can he keep his head, Rich?
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can.
In that first round?
Exactly. Obviously, it's going to be fireworks in that first round. I think both boxers are going to want to land a big shot early, but you know the way Enzo's talking and the way he's watched him in the gym, the way he's working out and working behind his jab. I think he's obviously going to try and set David up behind that jab, and so probably David Haye as well, because David can box. He's got a great pedigree from the amateurs as well. He's a good boxer, David Haye. So yeah, I think they both respect each other. But we spoke to Enzo Calzaghe as well, and he wasn't bothered about the cameras being there on the pads. He says, listen, I'm not going to hold back. He says, I'm not going to let him hold. No, he says, David Haye's David Haye, Enzo Maccarinelli's Enzo Maccarinelli. We're not going to hide nothing. This is what it's going to be like.
So how does he beat Haye then, Rich? Quite simple.
Quite simple.
No, it's quite a simple question.
I'm going to say quite simple. How does he beat him? I think obviously a lot's going to hinge on that first big shot. Can they take a punch? It's all about this fight. They're both going to have to take punches. It's all right dishing it out, but you've got to take it as well. So Stevie, you never know.
Well, there's one way to find out. You're in a suit. You clearly got makeup on. I'm in an old working shirt. I've just come out, from working a full shift somewhere filthy. That was completely unfair.
It was very unfair, mate. But cream always goes to the top, mate.
Oh no, I was only talking about appearances. I thought mine had the quality. Mine had the depth.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was a little bit of De Niro about my bit there.
I'll tell you, I was impressed with yours actually.
Were you really impressed with it?
I certainly was. You were starting to lose a little bit of weight.
Get lost. I told you my stomach's shrinking. Let's all serious now. The week after Enzo Maccarinelli takes care of Awisi, David Haye travels out to Paris for a double world title fight against Jean-Marc Mormec. Wasn't an easy night, was it? Oh,
this was an absolute massive fight. You can literally name, count on your hand how many people
have done it in the past.
Done it in the past. Big fight overseas against a guy who's a double world champion who'd been beaten once in about 10 years, Mormec, on home turf, seemingly unbeatable.
Well, I tell you what, let's take a look at the 7th round, a round we'll never forget.
David Haye was down in the 4th round, 5th round too close to call. We got to remember that. And Haye has won the 1st. On my score sheet, the 3rd and the 6th. 5 too close to call for me. But if some of the judges have it, for one guy as opposed to the other, then that's where the fight stands right now. But it's close after 6. Again, I pointed out to you because I still have a feeling it's going to be a factor before this fight's over. Haye carrying that left hand low. But Mormec, if he doesn't have the left shoulder turned in, he can't get a lot of power with the right hand if he's squared up like he is right now. When Mormec comes in and his shoulders are squared in, even with David Haye exposing his left side, Mormec can't really land a vicious blow. And his David Haye caught him with a couple of pretty good shots. Vicious body shots. Well, he's landed that right-hand power shot to the body throughout. Now Mormec's starting to get hit, and down he goes! Mormec may not be able to recover from this. He really blasted him. It's up to 4 and 5 and 6. It looks like he'd be ending it up at 7 and 8. Barely up as Jean-Marc Mormec. It's all over. David Haye knocked out Jean-Marc Mormec. It'll be scored as a 7th round technical knockout victory. Guido Cavalieri looks into the eyes of Jean-Marc Mormec, and we have a brand new WBA, WBC cruiserweight champion of the world. His name is David Haye. Look at this. Watch this. Right there, he cracked him with the left hand. Caught enough of the wrist with the right hand. Vicious body shots, but it was the uppercut that did the damage. Skipping forward, cracks him right by the ear, and that's all she wrote. Watch this shot coming up. He's turning his head away, a little bit behind the ear, but when the guy's turning away, there's nothing you can do about it. You see his hand come right up. A tremendous knockout victory. It'll be scored as a TKO because, as a matter of fact, Mormek did get up. But looking into the eyes, Guido Cavalieri said, no, you can't continue.
It was a wild right hand that launched David Haye in America and sealed the fight that we're all talking about. Richie, but earlier on he was down. He looked gone.
He looked gone, and he said afterwards there was nothing in his legs. But I said at the time that he'd learned so much from that Carl Thompson fight a few years ago, and he recovered from that shot, you know. He learned so much from that fight in taking punches and whatever. In this contest, he got caught early in the 4th round, went down, looked to be out of there, but just hung on, got his senses back together. And man, what a finish.
It was an impressive finish. I mean, that final shot, that's a bit of a wild shot. The damage he's done earlier, I think, with a short right uppercut.
Short right uppercut. That was the shot for me. It was a super shot. That right hand at the end there just finished the job off. But in my opinion, it was the uppercut that did all the damage, really.
And it started to drain him in the 6th round when he started to box. You know, a round after being on the floor, he suddenly starts to box. And that's when I think he broke Mormek's heart.
Well, exactly. And it's a sign of a good fighter. Once you go down, Steve, believe you me, you know, it takes a lot out of you. And if you then get up and you finish the guy off and you knock the guy out, man, that shows courage, strength as well, strength of character.
Well, before David went off to first North Cyprus and then Miami, I went to meet him to have a chat about that big night. David, when it was officially made, was there a great sense of relief?
Definitely. It's a fight that I've wanted for a long time now. I've always said to my manager, Adam Booth, whatever you can do to make this Enzo fight, make it happen. He's tried over the years. For one reason or another, it didn't materialise. As British boxing, if you look at in history, fights like this very, very rarely happen. Every 10, 15 years, if you're lucky, you're going to get a fight like this. Two guys, champions, coming together, both power punchers, both shown vulnerabilities in the past. It's a dream fight.
Now, after you beat Jean-Marc Mormek in Paris, fantastic victory. You said on Satanta that night, you thought that was you at cruiserweight. Now, was that the adrenaline thinking, or was that the plan then? It changed your mind?
Directly after the fight, I thought, knowing what I went through to make the weight and knowing how I felt in the fight, I didn't feel myself. But then reviewing the video of the fight, I looked a lot better than I felt inside the ring. And looking at the video, I thought that's more, me on that night when I fought Mormek is more than enough to beat Enzo Maccarinelli. So let's do it again. It's a fight that the fans want to see. It'd be a real big shame if I was the one who said, I don't want to take this fight. You know, I've never been one to duck a challenge. And, you know, I know that his people are sort of banking on the fact that I'm not going to be 100%. When they don't really know
that you're finished at the weight.
I'm finished at the weight. I thought if I'd never struggled to make the weight, I'd be surprised if Enzo's people would have took this fight. They're rolling the dice a bit on this one. And I think they're going to be upset when they're...
Now, it's nice that you guys seem to get on and it's sort of gentlemanly and you're all shaking hands, but there was a point when you came head-to-head, it turned into a bit of a loving at one point. I mean, it was the Mutual Appreciation Society.
There's no reason for us to be screaming and shouting at each other. We both know, I deep in my heart know I can knock him out real quick. He's probably thinking the same thing about me. So there's no reason for him to get angry. He feels he can win a fight. I feel I can win it. What's there to scream and shout about? We're both 100% confident. We're both quietly confident. Neither of us have been guys to go out there screaming and shouting and turning over, flipping over tables and causing scenes. We don't have to do that. You know, I'm confident in my ability that I could live in his spare room in his house and still knock him out. You know, I don't care how friendly we get. It doesn't matter because once the bell goes, you see the look in my eye. You see once I'm in that ring, you know, I'm prowling the ring like a caged tiger, and you're going to see a real different type of a haymaker this time round, you know, different from the Mormek one. The Mormek one, I was focused, but I had to break him down. I knew going into that fight, I wasn't going to knock him out with one shot. He was never the type of guy you can hit early and knock out. You have to break him down. Enzo's a whole different story, you know. Once I land that haymaker on his chin early doors, he's never been hit. He's never been anywhere near a ring with anyone as good as me in it. And I think he's going to be very, very shocked.
Dave.